Hi everyone, and welcome to our last day of 6 months sabbatical. Literally, we are filming this on our last day here in Thailand. Tomorrow morning, we have our flight back home to Slovenia. And since we actually did full 6 months traveling throughout Southeast Asia, we actually wanted to share some of our experiences, some of our favorites, what we didn't like, and so on.
So, just to give you a little bit of a recap, we've been traveling for 6 months and in total we've visited 5 countries. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but that's because we spent quite some time in each one of them. So, here's a little bit about the route we did. We started our trip in Malaysia, we landed in Kuala Lumpur, and we traveled a little bit around the mainland in Malaysia. We've already been to Malaysia before, so we already knew Borneo, so we didn't go there again. Then we went to Singapore for a few days. Then from there, we went to Bali in Indonesia for another couple of days. Again, we've also been to Bali before for a good like 2-3 weeks a few years ago. So we didn't want to do the same things again. That's why we only stayed for a few days. From there, we went to Vietnam. We stayed 1.5 months traveling around Vietnam. And from there, we came here to Thailand, where we are now. Our plan initially was to stay around 1 month here, but we ended up staying 3 months. So
I guess we liked it.
yeah. So we ended up, so our trip ended up being 5 countries long. We thought it was going to be a little bit more, but we're happy with it. We had a really great time. So yeah, in total, we visited 5 countries. And now let's do a little bit of a recap of how everything went.
So to make this a little bit more interactive,
And fun.
obviously, and fun, yeah, so it's not just us sitting here on this couch and blabbing indefinitely, we decided to make a little game out of here.
So this is how the game is going to work. We made it a little competition where we're going to rank our favorite things along the trip, and for each one, they're going to get a point. And in the end, we're going to find out which one's the winner, which we actually don't yet know. Each of us came up with our own answers, and we're going to figure it out on the go. So to be able to rank them, we created these 8 categories. The first 4 categories are the ones that we talk about the positive things. So our favorite nature, the biggest wow factor, etc. Then we have 2 categories where we selected our top 3. So the whole point of it is having a little bit of a rapid fire answer of our top 3 foods and our top 3 activities.
But worth mentioning is that only the winner is going to get a point. So not all 3 of them, just the winner.
Yeah. We're still going to list them out because I think they're good to share.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 categories in the end, which are negative categories, which means that if the countries get selected for that one, they get minus points because one of them is for our biggest frustration and the other one is for the most overrated destination. So this is going to make things a little bit more interesting because they can they can lose some points in the end, which I think is going to be kind of fun. So yeah, that's about it. And we're going to be counting the points along the way. And let's get started, I think.
Okay, so the first category we are going to start with is very obvious for anyone who is actually following us for some time. And you all know that we are freaks about nature. We love spending times outdoors. We love hiking. We love chasing waterfalls. So obviously the first question is going to be about that. So what was your favorite nature spot in this trip?
That was a really hard one. I spent so much time thinking about this, but I think my favorite destination for nature was Borneo in Malaysia. We actually didn't go there on this trip. We went on a previous trip, but it's still on my top within these destinations. And the reason is that it was so surprising. We didn't expect to see so much diversity and so much untouched places. We went to the jungle. We went to these paradise beach places in Sipadan, also in Gaia next to Kota Kinabalu.
Yeah.
We visited temples with so many animals. We even saw elephants, which it's kind of rare to see them there.
We saw the elephants outside in the wild, right? Not the captive elephants. So that was shocked.
And it makes it even more special, especially because it was the first time we ever saw them.
Yeah.
And the locals told us they only come out like once a year. So we were not expecting to see them. And we saw like 20 of them in one go.
Yeah,
So honestly, that trip was like really, really, really surprising. And we don't hear a lot of people talking about Borneo much. So I think that all that made it a really special place, at least for me. So that's
Yeah.
my top one.
Nice, nice. So Malaysia,
Yeah,
guess the first
Malaysia.
point. Good job.
Okay, then what about you? What's your top nature spot?
I changed my top nature spot like 3 times.
I know the feeling.
I could not decide because here, I don't know, like the whole Southeast Asia is just stunning, and
It's a special
it's really,
area in terms of nature.
really hard, really hard. But in the end, I picked Bali. And that might be a bit surprising because, in general, Bali is not a destination that I would say I really want to go back. I want to live in Bali. I want to spend so much time there. It's not. But nature-wise, I mean, it's just stunning. Like if you think, maybe not just Bali, we visited that first time we went, we visited Bali and Nusa Penida.
Yeah.
If you think about the beaches in Nusa Penida, if you think about all of the waterfalls, the jungle, the rice fields in Bali, like it's so captivating. It's so beautiful. So yeah, I think I have to say that from the nature part, Bali was my winner, even though it was hard to pick. But after considering everything, I think it really outperforms in a way
Yeah.
the rest of the region.
Okay, so 1 point for Indonesia. Let's update the score, and we're gonna be updating them as we go. So far, 1-1.
1-1 for Malaysia, Indonesia. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Now, second category.
So our category number 2 is gonna be best wow factor. So here we are not talking about the best thing that we did, the most beautiful part of the region we saw, but we are talking about something that surprised us in a positive way, something that at the end we're like, wow, I never expected this. So what would that be for you?
Actually, this one is an easy decision for me, which I cannot say for all of them. But this one was an easy decision, and for me is the Hageng Loop in Vietnam.
Okay.
I think a lot of it is because I didn't know what to expect. I had seen a lot of videos online, most of the like TikToks and things, but I think they were all capturing different vibes of the trip, more like the party vibes of it. So I thought it was gonna be just that, but it was so much more. We had such an incredible trip. The drivers were amazing.
Yeah.
The scenery, we got the most incredible weather. We did not have a single drop of rain, considering we were in Vietnam when they were having historical floods for months. So that was extremely lucky. We had really, really beautiful weather, and the views were amazing. And also our group, like the vibe was so cool. Putting all of it together was just like beyond my expectations. So that easy point for Vietnam there.
Nice, nice. And actually, we can share the exact tour that we did, and you can book it here on this QR code. Or if the QR code doesn't work, we are obviously going to leave the link in the description.
We spent a lot of time researching where to go, and we really liked the one we went. So
one note here, maybe this is really worth considering. Ask for the upgrade. Ask for the upgraded option to get your own private rooms, not just on the first night, but also on the following 2 or 3 nights, depending on how long you stay, because the price difference is not that much, but the difference in the rooms and accommodation that you get, it's like enormous. So we made that mistake. We did not do it. We had some people from our group that had the upgraded version, and honestly, it was worth every cent. So definitely do that.
all right, now which one is your winner?
We are staying in Vietnam. We are staying in Vietnam, and this one might be a bit surprising since we are coming from, well, I'm coming from Slovenia. We have some of the most beautiful caves
Oh,
in the world. Everyone researching Slovenia stumbles upon at least Postojna and Škocjan cave, if not more. But I can't say that they are the most beautiful caves anymore. I hope I don't get kicked out of the country for saying this. But actually, it's the Paradise Cave in Fonya. We spent 4 or 5 days there, and honestly, I mean, we've seen quite some caves,
Yeah.
but going to this one, going to this specific cave, Paradise Cave, it was so stunning. Like the size of it, how big it was,
Yep.
the shapes of stalactites and stalagmites in there they were stunning. The size of them as well, like it was really unexpected, because obviously if you visited Postojna Cave a couple of times, if you visited a lot of the other caves, you don't expect to get too surprised. And we also visited some caves in Thailand as well, and
Nothing compared to
nothing
that one.
compared to
That one was, yeah.
So yeah, Paradise Cave, Fonya, Vietnam, 1 point for me as well. So yeah, if you're interested in caves, we are gonna leave the link to the tour that we actually booked ourselves. We visited Paradise Cave and the Dark Cave
On the same day.
on the same day inside of the same tour, and it was really worth it. But right now, there's one more thing that I want to talk about. If you are talking and mentioning Fonya, the place that we stayed at.
Yes, that place was.
I mean, it was amazing. It was called Anne's Homestay.
Yeah.
We are gonna leave the link here, because if you are going to Fonya, please just make sure that you stay there. It was this like a little homestay. They had, I don't know, maybe 10 rooms.
Yeah.
And it was run by this super nice family. I got sick in Fonya, and they did not fail to come and check in.
Oh, they treated us so well, and it really feels like you're in their home and treated as part of the family. They literally had like family dinners with us and everything. It's a very different experience from going to like big cities, because it's not a hotel by any means. It's really a homestay. So it's very simple, but honestly incredible, and they made the experience so much better.
Also the food that they cook,
The food
because
was
obviously they are
great.
cooking themselves. They are there, and very delicious, and honestly, especially for the Western standards, very affordable.
Yeah, I think it was the cheapest accommodation we had in the whole
and
trip.
probably one of the most attentive ones.
Yeah,
and
definitely, like quality of service, top notch.
So yeah, make sure to, if you are visiting Fonya, this is the place to stay at.
Agree. So let's update the score. 2 points for
2
Vietnam.
points for Vietnam, and Vietnam is taking the lead.
Yeah. Now, third category. This one is a little bit about logistics. So, what was the country that was the easiest one to travel, considering everything, language, transport, everything?
Vietnam.
No.
Sorry.
Someone who hasn't been there is not going to get that this is a joke.
Mean. Sorry, didn't mean to be mean.
Okay. So,
Seriously. Right.
ease of travel. What's your top country?
Singapore.
That's a good one.
It's very easy. It's Singapore. Honestly, Singapore is way more developed than any of or some of the Western European countries. Like that country is just like next level progressed. Well, that country just next level developed. Like really.
It stands out in Southeast Asia, to be honest, because most of the countries, they're actually in a different level. You can't compare them.
You can't. And I like, just to shortly sum it up, if you want to use buses, if you want to use subway, it's very easy. There are signs in English. You get there, you pay by tapping your contactless card. You don't need to bother buying tickets somewhere or figuring out how to download an app, or like, it was very easy communicating with everyone there. It was just simple. They all spoke very good English. We unfortunately had to visit the pharmacy as well for you.
Oh, good. It was like really simple.
Super easy, super nice. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I
That's
think
a valid point. I agree with that.
Singapore it was the easiest place to travel to. How about you?
For me, actually, I thought about Singapore and I did not add it because it's expensive. So in my mind,
Fair.
something so expensive is not easy to travel. It is on the logistics point, but it just didn't sit well. So for me, I put Thailand because from all of the countries we've been, I think it's the one that as a foreigner, maybe because they get more tourism or like Western tourists
Could be.
at least, um, maybe because of that they're more prepared. But it is just super smooth. Even the people who don't speak English, they are ready with a translator for you, or even like just come to you with a big smile and sort everything that you need. Like honestly, we had no issues in even though we've been on public transport, we went like on these community vans to other states and regions, etc.
Yeah, it was
People
easy.
were always super helpful, super kind, and everything was super easy, to be honest. Hotels, everything worked very well. We found information online for almost everything we needed to do. So Thailand is my top one, and it's very affordable. So
That's true. I did not consider the affordability into
no.
this, but yeah, I agree with you. What you're saying, like Thailand, no issues. So 1 point to Singapore, 1 point to Thailand,
And
and
let's update the score.
yeah, Vietnam is still leading.
Yes.
Vietnam is still on the first place, and all of the rest are on the second place with 1 point.
All right, let's move on to category number 4. And this one is the most underrated place. So, not surprising, but more like what we didn't expect to love so much.
What we didn't even know exists.
Yeah, actually, yeah, also. So, let's start with you. What's your top one?
Yeah, for me, this one was quite easy, I think. So on this trip, she celebrated birthday. And
like a month ago.
yeah, so since I'm really not good with buying presents, I really dislike buying presents. I always make sure that I organize an experience for us. Well, for you.
I love it, actually.
So obviously, I wanted to find something that was a bit different, a bit unexpected, and I have to take that place and take it as my most underrated, most surprising one because I'm talking about Khao Yai. It's a province like 3 hours drive east of Bangkok, and it's a huge national park with beautiful nature, beautiful waterfalls, a lot of the wild animals in there, and we have not seen that in any of the guides. Like nobody mentions this place.
Yeah, I agree with your. I did not put Khao Yai, but I agree with it because even though I was planning Thailand, we split, so each one planned the country. I was the one planning Thailand, and it was not in my radar at all because the guides, most of them, they don't even talk about it. And when they do, they talk about it as a day trip from Bangkok, which is not worth it. We went for like, what, 4 days?
Yeah.
And that's the way to do it. Like, go and stay in the park and etc. So it was really, really good. And I agree, it fits on the underrated.
Yeah, like it really also it did not have any, I mean, it had very little non-local tourism, I think.
Yeah.
Like it's mostly locals, so that's also probably the reason why
And
it's
it was not
so
that easy to find information online. And most of the guides that are written in English are telling you, yeah, just go there to an information point to ask about it, which
yeah.
So that just shows on how untouched it still is.
Yeah.
It is popular within the Thais. It's not like it's empty, by no means, but it's definitely in the underrated category. I agree with that one.
Also, we stayed in such an amazing place.
Best hotel of the trip by far.
Yeah, I mean,
easily.
Yeah, it was Intercontinental. We're gonna leave the link for you if you want to book it, but that place on its own is just stunning. I mean, essentially, we spent one whole day just at the property because it was amazing. We were like, yeah, we can spend the day here.
Best hotel of the trip, 100%. 6 months best hotel. Like, don't even need to think about it.
So yeah, for me, it's Khao Yai, it's Thailand, and let's get to you. What do you think?
For me, the most underrated, I will sound a bit repetitive because you said it for another category, but for me was Phon Nha and the caves in Vietnam. I think because of the fact that, as I said before, we planned each country separately, and he was the one that planned Vietnam. So a lot of the things we did in Vietnam, I didn't really know what to expect. I had an idea, but I didn't know completely. And Fonya was the one that completely caught me by surprise because he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to this destination, which is like in the middle, quite central Vietnam, and it's known for caves." And I do like visiting caves now that I live in Slovenia, especially because that's part of our trips in Slovenia. But I did not expect it to be so cool, like so unique. So that's, yeah, that was for me an easy, underrated one. So 1 point for Vietnam on my side.
Nice. Score update. So we have Vietnam leading with 3 points, and we have Thailand emerging on the second place
Okay,
with 2
that's-
points, and the rest of the countries still sharing 1 point each. So let's continue to the next phase of the competition of these countries, and this is the rapid fire. So we have 2 different categories here. We are going to start with our favorite activities. Each of us is going to name our top 3, and then the winner gets that country an extra point.
All right.
So, what were your top 3 experiences?
My top 3. So on third place, I'm gonna sound like a broken record here, but the Fonya Caves. I don't think I need to explain it again. Why? Because you just heard all about it. But that's definitely a top 3. Top 2, on second place, I put Khao Yai, which is the national park here in Thailand that Edo mentioned that we went for my birthday. Fully agree that as an activity, exploring the park and spotting the animals, wildlife, that was a day I remember forever, especially because it was on my birthday and we managed to see like the elephants in the wild and things. So like, unforgettable.
Shout out to our
Driver.
guide that she just got information. She was driving us back home, stopped in the middle of the road, like, "Hey, they have elephants. You want to turn?" And we're like,
Yeah.
"Yep, let's go."
So yeah, that was unforgettable.
Yeah.
That just made like one of the most special birthdays I've ever had. But on top 1 in terms of experiences, I need to be consistent and say Ha Giang Loop in Vietnam, which it's kind of unfair because it's the one activity we did for like 3 days. So they have a lot of like
A lot of
things in
highlights.
one trip, a lot of highlights in one trip, but it is an unforgettable one. So my point goes to Vietnam here.
Nice.
What about you?
Me. All right. Number 3 is going to be maybe a little bit surprising, but it is Garden by the Bay in Singapore.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah?
I cried.
Because it was that good.
Yeah, of emotions.
I mean, honestly, that experience was surprisingly impressive. Like, I mean, it's garden. What can you expect there? But it was really cool. I'm not going to be spending much time explaining why, because we actually have full-on video about visiting Garden by the Bay. So check that one out. Like, if you are in Singapore, must go, definitely. Second, well, this one is going to be quick. It was a dark cave. Fonya, Vietnam, caves. We said a lot about it. I guess what we are saying here is Fonya is top of the list.
I think they can see a pattern.
And the winner for me is Kinang Batang River Cruise.
That's a good one.
We did that one. So we're talking East Borneo. We did that one on our previous trip to Malaysia. And well, it was special because it was our honeymoon trip, and spending 3 days in the jungle, on the boats, discovering the wildlife around that area, having elephants intrude into our camp.
Yeah.
It was special. It was special. So yeah, obviously, leaving all of these links in the description on the QR code. We can definitely recommend this if you're visiting Borneo.
All right, so I'm listening 1 point to Malaysia there.
You're listening correctly.
Let's update the score then. How are we?
Yes, we have Vietnam on the first place with 4 points, and equal on the second place with Thailand and Malaysia, both having 2 points. Let's continue to the next one. Next rapid fire is going to be food. Like, obviously, we one of the main reasons we came here was the food. We love food from this region. So
That was the hardest category for me, I swear. Thinking of 6 months worth of food and picking just 3. I think it took me 45 minutes. I swear. So please take these answers with a lot of like consideration, because that's a lot of thought went into it. I wish I could put like a top 50, but okay.
the video is already way too long.
Yeah. Let's do a top 3. On third place, I have black pepper sauce pork made in Thailand. We had this in so many places, and I don't know what I do about the black pepper here, but it's just so good. It's mind blowing. I love it. The sauce is just like so good.
Pepper does not taste the same here.
It does
and at
not
home.
taste the same, black pepper. Like it's, and I'm not a person that eats chili a lot, so black pepper is perfect because it's just very seasoned. Honestly, I hope I can make this at home and replicate it because it's amazing. Number 2 for me is specifically the dumpling we ate in Singapore on the Maxwell Hawker Center. We have a video about all our trip in Singapore where we ate this dumpling, where we show you, but that one was unforgettable. It has been a trend on this trip that we have been into dumplings and gyozas, but that one, unbeatable.
You picked good.
Unbeatable.
I remember you were the one who picked that one,
Yeah.
and it was delicious.
I read on some guide online, but like,
Yeah.
honestly, incredible. My number 1 dish, though, Malaysia.
Penang.
Yes.
I knew
Yes.
it. I knew it.
That Michelin restaurant that we went, where we ate eggplant. Oh, that eggplant with chili sauce, that was insane. I still think about it. And
The restaurant she's talking about, by the way, is called Antigyak.
we're probably pronouncing it wrong.
Probably.
But we have a video about it that we shared the whole meal that we had there.
Yeah.
We're gonna link it here. But oh my god, that one was, the eggplant specifically on that meal was mind-blowing and delicious.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be able to do the same. I need to go back there.
So Malaysia gets the point.
Malaysia, that's the point.
I mean-
Honestly, Malaysia with food, I think it makes sense because it's just so diverse.
Yeah.
And yeah, if I had to pick a country, I would probably pick Malaysia as well.
Nice. And Penang especially.
Penang, especially
So
for
many,
food, is
so many great options.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now you give me your top 3.
My top 3. Well, number 3 is gonna be, has to be khao soi.
That was a good one. That's our best discovery in Thailand.
Yeah. Shout out to Matitz. He's the one who said you need to go to like this little place in Chiang Mai by an old lady who's running like a little small restaurant. And well, to be
But
fair,
we tried
it was
khao soi before that.
we tried
and
khao soi before, but that one was absolutely the best. We're gonna leave the pin for you so you can visit
It's actually
it.
on our Thailand map. We have a map with all the places that we've been to that we liked, obviously.
Yeah.
And
You can
everything
get
we
it for free for
discovered.
Thailand and Vietnam.
We're gonna link it below.
Yeah. Number 2, Asam Laksa from Penang.
You love that one.
Asam Laksa was
Not a fan.
honestly, yeah, it's a bit too spicy for you, I think.
Yeah.
But, wow.
He ate that every 2 days we were in Malaysia, and we were in Malaysia for a whole month. It's a lot of asam laksas.
And, well, the number 1 needs to be the best comfort food we had, and that's Pad Kra Pao.
Oh,
Thailand, get the point. Pad Kra Pao, best dish ever.
another one we need to learn how to make at home.
Yeah,
Because
I mean the thing is that we have a couple of Thai restaurants in Ljubljana, but I've never seen Pad Kra Pao on any of the menus. So it was a discovery here, and yeah, I mean, rice, minced meat, egg, holy basil. We have to learn that.
yeah, that one was predictable. I was thinking you might say Pad Kra Pao. So all right, so let's update our total score.
We have
Special sound effects.
We have Vietnam still leading
All
with 4
right.
points, and on the second place now we have Thailand and Malaysia with 3 points each.
Oh, that's quite
So this
democratic.
is
Let's see.
very, very tough fight for the first place.
All right, this is where things get interesting because we start with the negative categories, and the countries we name here, they're gonna get minus points. Um,
Tough luck. Tough luck for some of them.
so the first one is, what is the most overrated place or experience that we visited? So things that they were very hyped up, but when we got there, it was not what we expected or not what internet made it look like.
That one was very easy for me, unfortunately. Phuket.
In Thailand.
Phuket, Thailand. Honestly, it's maybe we moved out of that vibe of that party.
Maybe 10 years ago we would have loved it.
Maybe, but it just I cannot pinpoint one thing that would be wrong with it, but just the whole vibe, it didn't sit right with me. So
I agree, actually.
yeah, honestly, Phuket is definitely not a destination that I would return to.
I agree, actually. And I think Phuket, as we went there, I was the one planning Thailand, and I think Phuket is in a location that makes a lot of sense. It has the plane, it has the boat trips, and etc. So a lot of people still go. But most of the guides that you find online, they are stuck in 5 years ago or maybe 10 years ago when it was still such a different vibe in the town. And when you get there, it's just so different. Like everything I read about it, it was just completely different when we got there. So yeah, I agree with you. And we were there traveling with family. It's not a family vibe anymore, I think. So I agree with you.
Unfortunately, Thailand gets a minus point for me.
Yeah.
How about you?
All right, so the most overrated for me is also Thailand, but it's a very specific destination, which was the Phi Phi Islands. And we did it as a day trip. We were actually glad that we did it as a day trip because when we got there, we were not very happy. So we were glad that we didn't sleep there.
Yeah.
Maybe in a different time of the year because we went, our trip there was around New Year's, which is a very busy time of the year. So maybe we did that wrong, but it was just way too crowded. And a lot of the tourism around it was just like for pictures. And this is the kind of tourism we were not a fan of.
Yeah.
That is just boat after boat after boat, posing for the same exact pictures, not really for the sake of exploring, you know. And also, Phi Phi was having a really bad, lately, in this last few months that we were here, really bad issues with sewage. So the island literally was smelling bad. Hopefully they get to fix that because it's such a paradise destination. It just does not fit with like sewage issues. But that's just the reality of when we went, and it was really, really overrated. So unfortunately, Thailand.
Thailand
It does not reflect the whole country, though, I must say. It's a specific destination.
Yeah, very specific. Honestly, I think it's fair to say for us, even without looking at these points and this game, that the Thailand was a destination that we loved the most. We stayed we planned on staying here for a month. We stayed 3 in the end. Yeah. We felt very comfortable here, but that specific part did not sit. I mean, that also does not mean that somebody else is not going to love it.
Exactly. It's just, our specific experience.
Did not work out well. So yeah, if we update our points.
All right, Thailand, now things changed a bit, huh?
Yeah, Thailand fell in 3rd place with just 1 point. Okay. Malaysia 2nd with 3, and Vietnam 1st with 4 points.
All right, and we move on to our last category, which is the most frustration.
Are you frustrated?
No.
I am, just thinking about it.
So the most frustration in a sense of the trip, like something that honestly annoyed us or that didn't work very well or that made the trip not so smooth. It looks like you know from the top of your head. So
yeah, This one hits. This one hits really because after month and a half staying there, I could not take it anymore.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I have a feeling we have the same one here.
Yeah, transport in Vietnam. Yep. I'm sorry, Vietnam, obviously, as you see with these points and everything, we loved it there. But Anything related to transport, like in the beginning.
It's fun in the beginning. Maybe if you stay not so long, we stayed for a month and a half. A month and a half of insane traffic is a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe if we stayed shorter, it would have been fun the whole time. And in the start, it was very fun crossing the street and etc. But after a month and a half, we were going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, you step out on the sidewalk. So
when they have a sidewalk.
When they have a sidewalk, and if they have a sidewalk, you're not going to be walking on that sidewalk because they have their little restaurants there, or they have 50 scooters parked there. So essentially, you are going to be walking on the 3-lane street next to you with people not really considering anyone else but themselves in the traffic.
Honestly, the whole traffic situation is crazy. They also beep a lot, so it's very loud everywhere.
Again, fun for the first 3 days because, oh wow.
Yeah.
After a month and a half, it was just like, come on, can we be like at peace?
And not just that, but like when we would get a van transport, we paid a private transport, not a private, but like a small transport, a van. The traffic in the street, I couldn't even fall asleep on the van because they drive like complete maniacs. It's crazy. The sleeper buses, many people love them. We couldn't sleep for a second. So
I mean, honestly, sleeper bus felt like lost night of sleep.
Yeah. Maybe we were too old for this.
Maybe we were too old for this.
That was, as we said, I think we stayed too long enough that it got annoying. Maybe if we had a 2-week trip, we would have just think it was fun.
Yeah.
But by the end of a month and a half, we were kind of annoyed. So we both have the same here. I agree. -2 points for Vietnam.
-2 points for Vietnam, unfortunately. And
now we have the winner, I guess.
We have the winners. So with these we said.
Honestly, this minus category is like completely shifted.
Yeah, they're going to change everything. So essentially our winner is Malaysia.
What?
Malaysia with 3 points.
I did not expect Malaysia to win at all.
Well, I guess we just love that place. I mean,
we do love Malaysia.
We do love Malaysia, that's true. I also did not expect it. I thought Thailand is going to win easily.
I also thought Thailand was going to win easily.
Yeah. Malaysia, second place for Vietnam with 2 points.
All right.
And all of the other countries with 1 point on the third place.
The minus point completely ruined Thailand.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
I mean, to be fair, like you can see by how these points are separated that all of the countries in this region, each of them has something that's like
special.
Really special, really amazing, and that the region itself is just so beautiful that if you have a chance, if you're interested in this, please make sure you visit it because
honestly, we loved our time here.
Exactly.
Even the negative categories, they're just opinions because when you travel, not everything is perfect. Some things you like it, some things you don't. We're just trying to be transparent here. But if we need to take the overall, we loved our time here. And we had, honestly, some of the best memories. So, yeah the last 6 months were so worth it. I guess that's it for the trip.
That's it for the trip. We
literally need to pack and go to the airport. So, that's literally it for the trip.
That feels sad. But, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, like we've spent a lot of time here. We are in no means an expert on the region, but we can definitely help you with...
I mean, we can always share our experiences, which is what this channel is for.
Exactly. So also make sure that if you're visiting any of these countries, check out the links in the description where we left access to 2 free maps, Vietnam and Thailand. We also have 1 interactive map of Malaysia that you can get. And yeah.
That's it, I guess. We did it.
Woo! Slovenia, see you soon.
And see you guys in the next video. It's not that we're coming home, that we're not going to do anything anymore. We still have plenty of adventures and a few little things planned out. So see you soon. Bye.